It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Hi, I'm Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. This week, I'm joined by author Val McDermid and stand-up Jim Smith, and facing off against them are comedians Felicity Ward and Mark Jennings. In the news this week, bookmakers William Hill have been fined for failing to protect their customers after a brand new customer was allowed to spend £23,000 in 20 minutes without any checks, leading Kwasi Kwarteng to say, "Hold my beer." Sniffing other people's body odour might be useful in therapy for social anxiety, say Swedish researchers. Scottish doctors plan to be at the forefront of this new therapy and have already begun offering patients a prescription to the Glasgow subway. And Lewis Capaldi has jokingly suggested someone needs firing at Netflix after using a picture of Liz Truss to promote his documentary. Netflix has explained they're using Liz Truss's image to indicate programmes which will be removed after 49 days. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one! This is the Broken News round, where our teams usually have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. But there's really only one story in town. So, Jim and Val, can you tell me what this is all about?
Humza Yousaf
is set to leave the Scottish Government after rejecting a move
to become Scotland's youngest First Minister. He secured 52% of the votes from party members, beating
political editor Glenn Campbell
into second place and Orna Finn, the SNP National Secretary, in third.
There we go, it's all going on this week. Any ideas what that story is all about? Val?
Humza Yousaf has been elected First Minister of Scotland.
Is the right answer. Well done. It is indeed the news that Humza Yousaf was voted the new leader of the SNP and has been sworn in as First Minister of Scotland after a vote at Holyrood. Mr Yousaf is the first person from an ethnic minority background and the first Muslim to take up the role. It was a busy week for him as he made his first cabinet appointments, including making Shona Robison his Deputy and Finance Secretary, a post which had previously been held by Kate Forbes, who turned down a move to Rural Affairs and has returned to the back benches. Humza Yousaf was confirmed as leader at Murrayfield Stadium here in Edinburgh, saying it was the greatest honour and privilege. A spokesperson for Murrayfield said they'd love to agree, but they've got Beyonce in May. And there it is. It has happened, Val, the transition of power. What do you make of Scotland's new First Minister?
Well, he's got lovely eyelashes. I sat next to him once on Question Time and he truly has got lovely eyelashes. But the thing that I was really interested in, one of the things that he's done is taken a vow as Keeper of the Scottish Seal. Now, I've not heard about the Scottish Seal, but I think it's not right that it should be in captivity. I think we need a campaign to free the Scottish Seal and put it back in the Firth of Forth where it belongs.
Mark Jennings, what have you made of the last week in politics, specifically that we have a new First Minister?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that Humza is the first Muslim leader of a Western democratic country and why that's so important in terms of representation. But I'll be honest that I've never felt more represented by a politician than Humza Yousaf because, like me, like he's in his 30s, he used to work in a call centre, he's got 6 points in his driving licence. I feel seen.
We obviously have to talk a little bit about the other contenders. Despite spending much of her childhood in Devon, Ash Regan ended up proving herself the most Scottish of the candidates in the leadership vote when she got knocked out in the first round. And obviously, with all that's been going on over the past few weeks, specifically the last 7 days, there's a bit of fallout to deal with. What have you made of that?
Well, I've take issue because Kate Forbes got offered the rural affairs post. Very important post, I would say. You know, if you know anyone having a rural affair, let me know.
What do you think, Flick? We've been looking at what's been happening around the appointment of a First Minister. Quite a bit of fallout around that. Don't know if you've seen that. If so, what have you made of it?
Well, I was reading about Kate Forbes. It seemed, look, something that I cannot get my head around in politics is that she was finance and then she got offered rural affairs. And isn't that like at school when your woodwork teacher had to cover geography class?
Well, you know, if Kate Forbes had taken that job in rural affairs, like, you know, she'd be based in a lot of parts of Scotland where her views would still be several hundred years ahead of the curve, so...
What do you think then, Jim? New First Minister, Humza Yousaf, says that he will deliver independence. Do you think he will?
Well, I was a bit dubious, but the first day he was there, the Scotland team went and raised the nation with a fine. We'll be coming! We'll be coming! We'll be coming down the road! When you hear the noise of the turn on, my boys will be coming. We'll be coming! Freedom!
So, you know, on balance, I'll take that as a yes.
And I think he's taking a really important first step by putting so many women in the cabinet to tell him what to do.
Rishi Sunak has obviously come out very hard and said that he should focus on issues that matter to the people, like reducing inflation, and not on independence. And I think if there's one thing that Scottish people love, it's being told what to do by English people. I think historically that's gone very well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Humza Yousaf is in the position. What do you think, Val? What should the new First Minister tackle first?
Well, this might sound like self-interest, but I think the first thing he should do is start a book group.
I thought you might say that. Yeah. Not a bad idea.
No, it's important. Reading fiction gives you empathy, and that helps you see other people's lives through the eyes of your reading. Mm-hmm. And that's what a First Minister should do. They should have a sense of what the people in their country actually feel, actually think, not just the wee Holyrood bubble.
Oh.
So that was... I'm sorry for being serious.
No, not at all. I love you and your Holyrood bubble. Like, we've obviously talked about the First Minister. It's a big responsibility being in charge of Scotland. What do you think should be the first thing in his to-do list?
Rental caps would be very important, specifically for the month of August in Edinburgh. Would be slightly beneficial to working class people around the country that are artists who might like to participate in a festival that's quite successful, but only rich people can come. The end.
Mark, what do you think then? Obviously, there's a lot on his plate. Humza Yousaf is First Minister. What should be the first thing on his to-do list?
We said that Scotland's government should look as much as possible like the people they represent, so presumably the first thing he's going to do is send some of the cabinet to Turkey to get their fake teeth.
Obviously, it's a big job. He is the First Minister. As the country, we do need whoever's in that role to do well. So let's ask our panel what advice they would have for Humza Yousaf.
Just go on yourself, big man. Just do what you know. Don't just follow your heart.
This is like Jim's writing a leaving card for somebody he doesn't know. What's the name? Yousaf? Aye, no bother. As is tradition, all the party leaders stood for First Minister. Did you see this? So you had all the SNP and Green MSPs voted for Mr Yousaf, all the Tories voted for Douglas Ross, all of Labour voted for Anna Sarwar, and all of the Lib Dems voted and wrote in whoever our guy is. And there we go. Well done to both teams. You each get 2 points for that. It was, of course, the big news that Scotland has a new First Minister. And at the end of the round, well done. It's all square. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, this week we've spoken to BBC presenter and music writer Vic Galloway and broadcaster Cathy McDonald. So, Felicity and Mark, what story do you think Vic is on about here?
How much? For a bag of tatties? You're having a laugh. But I think those 2 German shops are probably worth a look. In fact, 4 shops in an afternoon, you say? No problems. Spuds in Leith, avocados in Morningside, carrots in Colinton, and peaches in Portobello.
Is it to do with food price increase and supermarkets and going more?
Well done. It is a story that the average household is visiting the supermarket more than 4 times a week as they seek deals to beat the soaring cost of living. This is new research which suggests this. It comes as grocery prices rose at a record rate in March, climbing 17.5%. What do you think? Have you seen this? Have you seen the rising cost of your shopping?
To help cut down on our costs, I've been trying to eat less meat. And so I've tried this thing called Quorn. It's like sad mince. It is a... If you've ever been eating and thought, oh, I wish I could keep the chewing but get rid of the flavour, Quorn is for you. And my point is that I have respect for vegetarians and vegans because they eat terrible food so that we could live in this burning planet for 5 more years.
Fair enough. By the way, see, when you said Quorn about 40 times, Farmer Jim just started to twitch.
Yeah.
No, you're right, though. I've got a lot of magazines about Quorn.
Mark, what are you thinking about this then? Tough times. Have you seen this yourself? Have you seen a rise in the cost of your shopping?
Apparently, the reason that a lot of the vegetable prices have gone up is because of supply chain issues, and you know things will be bad. Like if you get into the supermarket and look these vegetables, you'll see them with the security tags they normally have on bottles of vodka. Then you go up to the cashier like, all right, can you unclamp my lettuce, please?
I was doing an air a few weeks ago, and there's a vending machine for milk at a dairy farm. Has anyone been to this? You just go out your bottles, and but you can get the milkshake in as well. You can even bring your own bottle and put the milkshake in and fill it up with the fresh milk, Right. I'm thinking, we need to even skip that. Just go right into the milking parlour, Because that's what, just got behind the coo. That's why the coos have 4 teats, blue top, green top, red top. An almond.
Almond. Almond explained for you right there. We love that kind of honesty.
Can I tell you why women with big boobs don't own a house? Because of how expensive our bras are. I'm just saying. It's not a joke, it's just a public service announcement. We pay a lot of money. These are investment pieces. This is not a piece of clothing. And I'd like that brought up by the First Minister. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Put that on the list.
Another thing to add to your list, Humza.
For the women, the F+ women out there.
Is that not a diet in the 1980s, the F+?
F+.
That was my exam results.
What about you, Jim? Do you shop around for a deal?
Oh, I like all this kind of recyclable kind of stuff. I'm quite good in my hands with woodwork. I'm always looking for good uses of things. And I made a pallet out of a coffee table.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Smith, the first ever expert on downcycling. What is the one thing you can't live without that you'll always pay through the nose for?
It's got to be cocaine. I just, I want to give it up, but I just can't. No.
They say the secret to attracting customers is a catchy logo, like Tesco's, every little helps. Lidl's, big in quality, little in price. And Waitrose's, I'm not paying that for a box of strawberries. Yes, the cost of living making people shop around is the right answer. Felicity and Mark, you get 2 points for that. Now to you, Jim and Val, what do you think Cathy is talking about here?
My first reaction was that this is a bit pie in the sky. And then I thought, well, this could actually be the solution to the problems with the ferries on the West Coast, providing, of course, that they're not let down, because that would really be quite deflating.
Is it airships are making a comeback?
That is the news that we could be on the brink of a new era of travel as modern airships are being produced in the UK. Called Airlander 10, they're a hybrid aircraft that relies on a combination of buoyant lift from helium like an airship, aerodynamic lift like an aeroplane, and vectored thrust like a helicopter. The company's CEO says travelling on the airship will be more like a cruise ship than a plane, so it will be full of old people giving each other STDs. The laughs from the cruise audience in today. You know who you are. Oh, my. Well done on getting the right answer, Jim. So you've heard a bit more about it. Would you be up for this? Would you be up for travelling by airship?
It goes up to 100 mile an hour, which seems quite fast.
It can go at quite a speed.
You just put a hole in it and it goes...
Thank you for that mature analysis of the airship. But there you go. I mean, look, it's out there now, Val. They say it is happening. Well, what about you? Would you be up for travelling by airship?
They're talking about using it for travel to the islands. You know what the winds are like around Scotland? You get on an airship going to Orkney and you get off in Oslo.
A journey of discovery every time. Felicity, what about this? We're talking about airships. The comeback, a more modern version of them. Would you be up for travelling by airship?
My concern is if you're a passenger, does the helium slowly go into you without you knowing? And can you imagine making that call if you were going down? Oh, Mum, Dad, I love you. I miss you. You know. And if that's the last recorded voice message they have of you, they're like, oh, played at the funeral, here's the last words.
What about you, Mark? You've heard a bit about it there now. Would you be up for travelling by airship?
Well, they say it would be like a cruise ship, but it's still in the sky, so I would be constantly just worried about crashing. Whereas in a cruise ship, the most thing you've got to worry about is just that other Scottish couple will keep talking to you every day.
And what about this then, Val, the idea of slow travel? Many people say it's appealing. Do you think there's something nice about it?
There is something pleasant about taking your time to get a place.
Yeah.
But like Mark said there, it depends who else is on the boat with you.
Yes.
You know? And we've all been stuck on a plane next to somebody who won't shut up. You imagine
I said sorry.
I would worry if I saw the stewardess running down the aisle with a bicycle repair pick. I think
well, we're talking about the return of the airship, but if not an airship, what would be your dream mode of transportation?
I like a hurl on a boat. And I'm waiting for the proposed Kirkcaldy to Leith ferry to start. I mean, what a booze cruise that'll be, eh?
Make it happen. I love that. Mark, we'll finish this bit with you. What are you thinking, mate? If not an airship, what would be your dream mode of transportation?
I just dream of driving a car that's not going to fail its MOT.
Oh, that is brilliant. There we go. Modern airships taking off is the right answer, and 2 points go to Jim and Val. You're listening to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Jim and Val, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I was in Edinburgh at the Royal Lyceum working there, and suddenly there was this rocking sound, and the chairs started to rock across the room. And then I woke up in the morning, and the floor was covered in these scratch marks.
Brian Cox.
You've nailed it. Right answer. Well done. It is Brian Cox. He's in the news after the renowned actor said that he was forced to hide under the sheets when a ghost appeared in his room and left scratch marks on the floor. He said that the paranormal encounter took place whilst he was a young actor plying his trade in Edinburgh. Val, has Brian convinced you about the existence of ghosts?
He's convinced me of the existence of whiskey.
I'm with Val. I think he just had a good night out in Edinburgh, got drunk and asked a panda back to his room.
wasn't a panda, it was a nun.
Also, may I let's prefix this by saying I absolutely love Brian Cox. I think he's incredibly talented. I love watching interviews. I love watching him act. But you know those people who you say, oh, they look great for their age. Brian Cox is not that person. He's 76. He looks like an Edvard Munch painting. He looks like he's smoked since he was a sperm. He looks like he's seen 1,000 ghosts. He's 76. There are people in here probably who are 85 that look 20 years younger than him.
But he's from Dundee. He should be a ghost.
What do you think then, Val? Are some places more haunted than others?
I don't really believe in ghosts, but I might make an exception for Tory party headquarters, which is haunted by the ghosts of Prime Ministers past.
Oh, do you think Thatcher's still wandering about?
Absolutely. And now, was Liz Truss real?
What about you, Jim? I don't know if you believe at all. Maybe you've seen one in the farm. Are some places more haunted than others?
I got shut in a hen house once. That wasn't.
Oh,
That was.
That's not a good experience.
No, it's no. Oh, you had it too.
No.
It's a common thing.
Mark, what about yourself in this one? Brian Cox has been open about his supernatural experience. What's been your most supernatural experience?
Well, years ago, my mum and my auntie went to see Cher at Murrayfield. And so they stayed in a wee hotel just out in the outskirts of Edinburgh, and they got it for dead cheap, and it was a really nice place. And so they went to the concert, and they came back that night, and they were singing and dancing and having a whale of a time. Little did they know the place they were staying in was haunted by the White Lady of Corstorphine. It was only the next day they went for breakfast, and someone from the hotel came up and they says, "Oh, did you see the White Lady?" And they went, "Oh yeah, she's got an incredible voice."
Right, it's to you, Felicity and Mark. It's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
Just because somebody's played more games than you doesn't mean that they're always gonna get in ahead of you. It's whoever's doing the business on the pitch. There's nobody who's a given to play every single match.
Scott McTominay, who scored both goals as the Scotland men's football team beat Spain.
That is the right answer. Well done. It is indeed Scott McTominay who scored a double as Scotland secured a famous victory over Spain to take control of our Euro 2024 qualifying campaign. And after that incredible victory against Spain, Scotland fans crashed the internet. Half the Tartan Army were searching for cheap flights to Germany in June 2024, and the other half were in Duolingo, learning how to tweet "Get it up you" in Spanish. Val, not sure if you were at the game, but what a victory. What did you make of Scotland beating Spain?
Well, football's coming him.
It's great how, listen to McTominay's voice there. You know, it's like something that a Hovis had. Hey up, I remember the time I scored for Scotland. It was great, you know.
Well, what do you think, Mark? This might change things a bit. Do you think we should have a more positive outlook on Scottish sport?
Australians are quite, like, they're quite kind of upbeat and stuff like that and back themselves. I was in Australia and I actually went to a football game, although they incorrectly call it soccer there. And stadium is beautiful, right? But like Australians kind of the same as Americans. They don't really have the right vocabulary for football. So
Easy, mate.
I went to see it was Adelaide United were playing, and the first thing that happened was one of the players got a yellow card and someone behind me shouted, "Get a new life, ref!" I was like, "Get a new life?" I've never heard anyone say "get a new life" to a ref. I've heard the ref get death threats. I've never heard
But that positivity, maybe that's what we need. Felicity, you could bring this. Do you think we should be more positive in our outlook around Scottish sport?
Well, firstly, should I do my Scottish accent if you're going to sit there and do an Australian?
That's quite good, that, yeah.
Hey, mate, that was all right, yeah.
You sound more Scottish than half the Scottish national team, innit?
Well, obviously, this was a result Scotland were not expected to win. Complete underdogs. So let's get a wee flavour very quickly from our panel to round us off. When have you done better than people expected?
Well, I am the lead singer in a band of crime writers, fun-loving crime writers.
Yes.
And when we were doing our first gig at the Edinburgh Book Festival, our slogan on the poster was, "They're better than you think they'll be."
Some pundits have said that Steve Clarke planned the game tactically, as due to changes in the Spain team, he anticipated they may catch players out of position. But then again, nobody expects the Spanish in position. Scott McTominay is correct. 2 points go to Felicity and Mark. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
I've assembled a cabinet.
That's our First Minister, Humza Yousaf there, who's a dab hand at the old IKEA. All right, here we go. Fingers on buzzers. 64% of people do what to help with pain relief? Mark.
Switch off the telly when Douglas Ross comes on.
64% of people do what to help with pain relief? Felicity.
Buy trousers with an elastic band waist.
64% of people do what to help with pain relief? Jim.
They go, oh, jeez, oh.
64% of people do what to help with pain relief? Val.
Watch reruns of Scotland v Spain.
Yay! We'll be coming! We'll be coming! We'll be claiming! We'll be claiming! We'll be claiming PPI! Payment protection, Scotland on the team. We claim back your PPI.
Oh my goodness, here we go again. 64% of people do what to help with pain relief? Swear repeatedly. And I'm going to give the point to Jim Smith. Well done, Jim.
I've assembled a cabinet.
Oh, there we go. That is the klaxon. Humza has Yousaf, meaning it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Jim Smith and Val McDermott. And a hearty commiserations to Mark Jennings and Felicity Ward. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. It's been recommended Glasgow MP Margaret Ferrier serve a 30-day suspension from Parliament for travelling home from London with COVID on a train. She's said to be delighted with the result as she thought she might lose her seat, which is that nice one just in the first class carriage by the Lavie. At least 10 brands of honey exported from the UK contain illicit, cheap ingredients. Police say they would arrest the manufacturers, but they can't get handcuffs small enough to fit the bees. And reflecting on Scotland's famous victory, former boss Craig Levein says he believes defender Ryan Porteous would throw himself in front of a moving train for Scotland. To which ScotRail replied, aye, good luck with that. The news is broken. I've been Des Clarke. Goodbye!